and alignyourlight.com. All right, so just a quick nod to St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you Celtic folks out there. Um, we are going to be talking a little bit about protection and how to shift that need for protection away from fear and into something that will actually protect you. Because the big truth is that fear will never protect you from what you're afraid of. And the only reason that we need protection is when we feel afraid. Am I right? So I'm going to tell you a little story about some protection work that I just did the other day that ended up, oh my gosh, way more beautiful than we could have ever imagined. It was just incredible. So basically, what happened is I was working with somebody who was in a really super toxic living environment, and it was one that she really just, if she walked away from it, it would be a big, huge deal. So what we were doing is finding ways to protect her energy in her home and around her home. And so, protection is kind of like boundaries. Um, I've talked about boundaries before, and boundaries are not something that you hold outside of yourself. Boundaries are something that are formed on the inside, and they're based and anchored in your values. And protection is really similar to that. We can never be protected by what we're afraid of because that's exactly what we need protection from. So when we're setting up protection, we need to come at it from a different angle. Just like with boundaries, we need to come at it from a different angle. We're not setting up boundaries to, on the outside, we're setting up those boundaries on the inside so that they become impervious to anything else that's happening around us. We know what our boundaries are and we're sticking with them. And it's the same way with protection. We know what our protection is and we're sticking with it. And it becomes this energy that we emanate. We emanate this energy of safety rather than emanating the energy of needing to protect. So with this client, I was looking at everything that was going on. It was, oh my gosh, so toxic. It was really starting to have a deep effect on her own happiness. It was wearing down her resilience. It was wearing down her convictions about what she knew that she needed. And so the first thing that we did is we went in and we cleaned up all that energy that was sitting inside of her energy field and inside of her energy body. And I'm going like this because it's the central energy channel that gets blocked up with toxic energy or fear energy, all those things that you're needing to protect against. So we created a safe space inside of her and then started working on the house. And we established a safe space in her room and cleaned all that up until it was just like blinding white light. So beautiful, so strong, and so powerful. And then we anchored that light from inside of her into the studs of the wall. So each of the corners of the room and the studs in the walls were imbued with her own inner light. And then we expanded it out through the house and then expanded it out to the whole property and created this totally beautiful protection that didn't come from outside of her. It actually originated from inside of her and was anchored because of her own light. So, when we talk about protection, I mean, you know, all kinds of things that we require protection from are based in fear. When we get, homeowners insurance, it's required by the mortgage company. But if you don't have a mortgage, that's based in fear, because if you don't have insurance and your house burns down, then that's all on you, and you lose everything. You lose your whole investment. It's the same way with car insurance. We were required to have the minimum car insurance, but how many people have just the minimum? Not that many. Most people have collision, comprehensive, and it's because of fear. And there's that fear that if you get into an accident, then you lose it all. You don't have coverage for medical expenses. You don't have coverage for, and so that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about fear being the motivating factor for protection. And when we're working in the spiritual realm and we're working with energy and we're working with our own um, protection of our own connection into the spiritual realm, what we really need to do, there is no insurance company for that except our own connection with our own divine source of light. And so that is the methodology for really creating super, super strong protection. There are symbols that we can use to help us remember to activate that inner protection. And that's what, I do that a lot with crystals. And there are other techniques for protection, for home protection, including salt and other kinds of stuff like that. You can see in the background, I have a spider plant. Spider plants are amazing for clearing up negative energy. So that's a form of protection. There are lots of different forms of protection that are, really soft and, can't do the whole job of your intuitive connection protection on their own. That has to come from inside. And so learning how to activate that is a process. It's, you have to kind of un uncreate the beliefs that keep you anchored in fear for how to protect yourself. So another way that we kind of protect ourselves is with anger, and we'll generate this like I'm a brick wall, nothing's going to get in. And that's kind of what people think boundaries are. And it's using anger. But oh my gosh, have you guys ever tried to stay angry for a really long time? It takes so much energy. It's, oh my gosh, exhausting. And it definitely does damage to your body to be in that mode of having to, always have armor around you. That takes so much energy. So, in the Align Your Light journey, which is, my 8-week program for really unwinding all of the trauma that causes us to connect with fear and causes us to connect with anger and have those kinds of responses, those trauma responses. In that journey, we're doing so much more than just clearing away trauma from past lives and from ancestral inheritance and from this life. What we're also doing is imbuing that sense of internal protection, because you get to really connect with your own incredible power and beauty and really embrace all of that and bring it into your energy system so that that becomes the dominant energy vibration inside of you. And from that place, you emanate a sense of protection. You emanate a sense of boundaries, what your boundaries are. And that's the most powerful kind of boundaries you can have. It's the most powerful kind of protection you can have, is that kind that's anchored in your light on the inside. And it takes almost no effort. It's so easy. Once you get the hang of it and you start to really anchor that in and find all the places that are in opposition to you knowing your own power, then you're drawing that opposition out. And that's what we're doing in the Align Your Light journey. We're drawing that opposition out, which is often past life trauma, ancestral trauma, this life trauma, and the responses that are caused by that trauma. And at the same time, we're feeding a new story, that new understanding, that new clarity of our own power and brilliance and ability to connect with and stay connected with our own divine source, our own light. Whew, so if you have any questions, pop them into the comments. I will be answering them even if you're watching the replay. And click on the link in the description to get a free chat, to get a free consultation to find out where exactly your energy is blocked, to find out if you have some protection detail that really needs to be shifted immediately, like my client the other day did. Or if there's something else going on that needs your immediate attention. And also to find out how the Align Your Light journey can really actually work for you to turn around all of the mindset that causes the need for fear and anger as protection. All right, I hope that really helps you today, and happy St. Patrick's Day. Also loved universally, and you're definitely lovable.